Hey y'all, I am back. I am back. I missed you all last week, but we're back today and welcome to a new episode of We Just Talking. Tonight, I am excited about my y'all. I know you're like you're always excited. I am always excited. Okay, I have a dear friend that I worked with many years ago on with me, Eric, and we're gonna have some great conversation. Y'all are gonna get to see us catch up, and yeah, so help me welcome Eric. Welcome to We Just Talking. I'm so happy to have you on here.
What up? What up? What's up,
So,
guys?
yes, introduce yourself to the talkers.
Absolutely. Hello, everybody. I have no idea who listens to this, or watches this, but I'll tell you exactly who I am. As you can see, my name is Eric Mendo Double Drizzle. I'll tell you a little bit about it. Tia asked me to introduce myself and hobbies, but I'll just try to make it short. I don't really like to talk about myself, even though I do love to talk about myself.
Right.
A lot of people don't know, but I'm not from El Paso. I'm actually from Philadelphia, the west side part of it. And, I grew
Okay.
up there, right? I grew up there. I loved it. I used to love playing basketball with my team. And until actually there was one time I got into a fist fight with somebody. Then my mom was like, you know what? You can't stay here anymore. You got to go to California. And I did. Right. I
Okay.
was very happy. They shipped me off over there. I stayed with my Uncle Phil, my Aunt Vivian, my cousin Carlton,
Yes.
my other cousins,
Hillary?
Ash,
What's her name? Hillary?
Hillary. Yeah, she was a shopper,
Oh,
but
yeah.
we got along great. I was really cool. I went to there. I think it was Bel Air. Yeah,
Bel
and
Air.
then
Yes.
after that, after a couple of seasons, I just moved back to El Paso. So that's
Oh,
just a really really quick intro about myself. And if you have any questions, just go to Nick at Night, and be able to see my full inside of my life.
oh, your documentary.
Yes, yeah, shot by shot, yeah.
That's so funny. Like I feel like you have a song. There is a song about your life, like
Yes,
about
yeah,
that fight that you got into.
yeah. I
Yes.
did. It's been a while. It's been a while, but after I slapped somebody, it's been, it was kind of canceled, but
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah. That was we won't talk about
yeah. So
that.
it's good to see you, Tia. It's good to see you.
Yes.
I haven't seen you in a really long time.
A long time. I've been gone from El Paso for like ever at this point.
I do remember the last time we
Yeah.
saw each other. We used to work together.
Yes, we work together.
Hmm.
And so we'll get into that. Let's share with the people how I met you. It was after you had moved back from Cali,
Yeah,
your time in Bel Air, and you were being like a normal person like the rest of us.
yeah,
We were working at Sprint,
yeah. That's right. That's right.
working at Sprint. I actually had gotten transferred in there, and I really like did not want to go work over there because I was
Yeah.
like, I don't know those people. I think they're strange. They probably aren't gonna like me. Um, I did not want to go. I was like
It
so
was it was
upset about
far
it,
it was far for you as well, right?
and it was far. Well, I had at one point worked at the Las Cruces store, so I used to drive to Cruces
Yeah,
for a period of time to go work at Sprint over there
yeah.
because this is kind of funny. You might not know this. So before I came back to Sprint, I had previously worked for Sprint like 3 years before.
Okay.
And so I left and I went and worked at a halfway house for
I
like three
remember.
years.
Yes, yeah. I
Yes.
remember stories.
And so they didn't want to hire me back because I think they thought I was like a mole or something. I don't know. And they're like, nobody wanted me to work at their store. And so like I was like, I don't even know who y'all's manager is. What am I a
Yeah,
mole for?
yeah,
Like, I don't know. I don't get it. And so nobody wanted to hire me in El Paso. None of the managers wanted me at their stores. So the manager in Las Cruces was like, I'll hire her, whatever. And so that's how I got back into Sprint and worked over there in Cruces, shook
yeah.
some things up, not with the store, just with my life. And it was like, I got to get out of Cruces. I got in a fight. My mom did get scared, and I had to move back to El Paso too.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
And so,
you were an assistant manager at the store, and then I was the lead tech, like right
yes,
before. Yeah. Yeah, and then I
Yeah, and
think we
so
come back to we
yeah,
were in the west side of El Paso.
that's how I got over there. So I was working on the east side, and then they were like, "No, we need you over here." So I got transferred over there to Mesa with y'all, and y'all turned out to be like the funnest team that I had ever worked with.
You're
Like,
welcome. You're welcome. Yeah,
thanks, I appreciate it.
yeah.
And
We did all for you.
I know, look what I got out of all this.
Yeah,
And like I
good
was
stuff,
telling you
man.
before, before we started recording, like I worked at so many different stores, right? Like so many different stores. In my tenure at Sprint, I might have worked at them all almost. And y'all, the people that I worked with at Mesa are the only people that I've really kept in contact with. And I was like, it's so funny out of all like, and I don't feel like I worked with y'all the longest, but like,
It
I don't
was
know.
the funnest, I guess.
It was more like a family over there though. Like I feel like
Yeah,
everybody, although
yeah,
y'all may,
we definitely try to take care of each other.
yeah, yes.
Yeah, we try
Like
to have we try to have each other's back as much as
have each
possible.
other's back, look
It
out
was
for
the
one
best
another.
store in El Paso, to be honest, too.
It was such a fun time over there. Like it was such a fun time. And when I had to leave, I remember, well, like it wasn't even the same crew by the time I got out of there. It was some of the same people. But I
Yeah,
remember I was like really bummed. And then I didn't like the store that I had to go to. And I was like, it was a
yeah,
great time. Like
yeah,
lots of laughs, lots of jokes that still carry on till today.
yeah,
So so yeah, but it was also a long time ago. It was before the
yeah,
world ended. Like
yeah. Definitely before. I think you left. What was it? Man, it's been a while. You left in, was it 2015?
maybe I left El
2015?
Paso in 2018 and I got fired from Sprint in 2016.
Okay.
So I left the Mesa store. It was probably around 2015.
Yeah.
Yo, that's almost 10 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's what I was just thinking. I just just that kind of
We were
blew my mind.
young in the like in the prime of our life.
We didn't even know it. And I used to live
Didn't
a
even know
few
it.
blocks away from the store just for that same reason, because I wanted to be close to work. Right.
Yeah.
I lived, I don't know if you remember, but I used to even ride my bike to work. My
Riding
bike.
your bike when I got there. You were driving the Batmobile
Was
when
it?
I
Oh, okay,
started.
yeah.
Yeah, you
Okay.
had remember when you had the black like mat on it?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I blacked it out big time. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's when I started working there.
Okay. Yeah.
So I know the people because you know people listen to this, people watch this, they are going to be wondering what's happening behind
Okay.
you. So
Okay.
you need to tell the
Well,
people what's happening.
yeah. Well, they need to know that it's none of their business. No, I'm just no, I'm kidding. No.
Streams of income.
Right. So when I think it was around that time in 2015, and I think you might remember this. I started I started doing cosplay for just for fun, just for fun. And
Yeah.
I was, still to this day, my favorite movie of all time is The Dark Knight, and anybody that knows me knows that. And I bought a Batman suit, and I
Mm-hmm.
love, I remember when I bought it, and when I bought it, it was over $1,000. And so I wore it, and then I was like, I think I wore it to a comic book convention here in El Paso,
Uh-huh.
and called, Epcon, which is hosted actually, as a matter of fact, it's coming up, like next week or so. But
Okay.
they, I attended, and then I said to myself, well, what am I doing? Then I got a Superman one too, and then I love doing it. And I remember I spent a lot of money because I tried to make it as accurate to the
Realistic.
movie as
Yeah.
possible. And when that ended, I said to myself, well, what now? What do I do with this? Like, I spent a lot of money on this. Like, what am I gonna do? These are just costumes that I have for myself, and I just can't wear them. I wanted to find an excuse to wear them, and of course, there's always
Yes.
insanity, right? And just wearing them
Yes.
for the hell of it. But I wanted to be something productive, so I said I had actually reached out to a couple of businesses here that do birthday parties, and I
Mm.
asked them, hey, you know what? I do this. I have this costume, whatever, and they all rejected me. They all said, no, thank you. We're not interested. We appreciate you reaching out. and I was like, I'm great with kids, and they said, no, no,
Yeah.
thank you. This family, we're not really like, we mostly do princesses,
Oh.
or we do
Uh-huh.
characters. I think at the time was like, Rugrats. I think now it's like Paw Patrol, but
I was like Mickey Mouse.
Mickey Mouse, things like that. They
Yeah.
was really popular. So I didn't see that there was a big market for it. And then I spoke to my wife, and I said, well, what if I started from zero? What if I just start doing it?
Yeah.
So I think it was a sprint where, I was using the computer, and I was like, okay, let me design some flyers, right? So I started printing
Yeah.
some flyers, and then I remember in April of 2015, where I started advertising on Craigslist, on Facebook, and I was like, hey, you know what, just do it
Hmm.
on. So little by little, started doing birthday parties for kids as dress up, and then almost, what is it now, 8 years later, technically, yeah,
Yeah.
8 years later. So I have actually been doing this for 8 years.
Wow.
We do birthday parties for kids. We have we it's been a while, right? It's been some time,
Hmm.
and so far it's been a really good experience. We have Batman, Superman, Captain America, Spider-Man, Iron Man. We have some villains. There's a couple of people that actually worked for me. I don't know if you remember Eddie, right?
I
Eddie,
remember
I don't know if
Eddie.
you're
Yeah.
listening to this, but Eddie was Batman, right? Georgie, right? I remember George,
Yes.
and Five, right? He did it, and Juan, right? Juan even hired me one time for and we do a whole
Birthday
show, and
party.
yeah, we have different packages, and and I loved it, right? And
Yeah.
recently, a lot of people ask me, hey, have you thought about expanding and doing other other characters, or adding more, right?
Yeah.
And the name of the business that I currently have is Superhero Appearances, and I don't want to do that, because then that would deter me from what I really like to do, right? Which is,
Hmm.
just a hero, and then making a kid's day, right? So when I do
Yeah.
show up, I try to make it as accurate as possible for the kids, right? Because I want them to suspend disbelief and say, hey, the real character's there, right?
Yeah.
And I tried, I pride myself in doing that. And um and so far as it's been a great experience, and I like to keep it, I like, because I love what I do, and
Hmm.
keep it that way, right?
Yeah.
And so that's just the backstory, and so far it's been good. A lot of people also ask, will my wife dress up? But she's more shy, right? She's a little bit
Yeah.
more, and I think at the beginning I did ask her, and she was kind enough to do it, but she's more in the background,
Uh-huh.
accounting part and managing part, which is,
Gotcha.
makes it a good
Yeah.
partnership. Yeah, yeah.
So I remember back in the day, even when you had first started it, like seeing one of the videos on Facebook, and I was like, "Dang, this is legit! Like these are
Oh
real
yeah,
costumes." Because like
yeah,
you see some kids parties, and it's like knockoff Mickey Mouse, like, and the
yeah,
ears are like shaped weird. But their
yeah.
costumes are like
Oh, thank you. And you
legit,
can feel a little bit,
legit.
or
I was
like that.
like,
Remember that Spider-Man that tries to do a backflip, and then just smashes his face, and then
"Oh
he
no,
just dropped down.
no, 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 don't
So
do that."
yeah, yeah, we do. There's choreographed fights between the hero and the villain, right? A villain versus a hero versus a hero, right?
Mhm.
Pretty much with the
What you would
fight.
see,
Yeah, and then there's music in the background. We try to make it as realistic and as fun as possible, right? And then obviously there's
yeah,
game prizes, so we make it the highlight of the party, right? And
yeah,
as a matter of fact, it was April of 2015, so it's exactly 8 years.
exactly 8 years. Yeah,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
had to do a anniversary pack,
yeah,
like an
yeah.
anniversary party pack or something. So
Yeah.
when did you first get into superheroes?
I mean, since I think the very first one is when Batman Returns came out in
Hmm.
1992, I believe, is Michael Keaton. And
Yes.
that moment I was obsessed with Batman, right? Like just the enigma of the character, and how he fought crime, and he was a loner, and he was incorruptible, and that always attracted me,
Yeah.
and the persona that it had. So I love superheroes, but Batman is definitely my favorite. I just love the psyche behind it, and in that he's still at the, unlike other superheroes, he doesn't have superpowers, right? So
Yeah.
he relies on his wits, on his gadgets, right?
Yeah.
And on himself, he's more, loner. Besides, having Robin, but it's not like Superman or Iron Man where they have, or Captain America where they have, powers, or
Yeah.
mechanized suit, or be given, or Superman has powers from a different atmosphere, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
And I think that's, I think it was 1992. I think it was maybe 6 or 7, and
I was gonna say, how old were you in
yeah,
'92?
yeah. Yeah, that was
I
six or
wasn't even
seven.
born yet.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Barely, barely.
Yeah. It's when I ask people, like, hey, where were you in 9/11? They're like, oh my God, this is a meet and greet era. Come on.
Yeah, right. That's so funny. I saw a funny TikTok the other day. It was like why millennials have anxiety. It's like talking about all the different things that we have lived through. It's like this is why we're anxious people.
Oh yeah.
9/11, the Iraq War, what else has happened? Like everything else that has gone. It's like, yeah, we're stressed out.
Yeah.
We are
Yeah.
stressed out. I had a question on here, but you just answered it because I was going to say Batman or Superman, but
Yeah.
I think
Yeah. No, I think that's pretty obvious. Even though they're amongst my favorite, right?
yeah,
Especially with the new kind of movies that come out, especially what Zack Snyder did and Christopher Nolan did for them, is I think is great, and they're amongst my favorite. But yeah, Batman all the way.
so, but you do both of the universes, right? It's Marvel and DC. Aren't
Oh
those
yeah.
like they
Absolutely.
cross? No
Yeah.
Marvel or DC though.
Yeah. I mean, Batman reigns, right? So since he's that world, he reigns over.
He reigns, yeah. I feel like I watch more of DC than Marvel. Just because there's so many more shows
Oh
that like
yeah,
are
yeah,
on
yeah,
TV
yeah,
that
yeah.
are
Because I
DC.
remember you were a big fan of Green Arrow, right?
I watched Arrow. We
Yeah,
watched The Flash.
yeah,
Um, I just started watching not too long ago, and I don't watch as much TV as I used to. But it's a show that is on. Oh, look at your baby. I was like,
yeah,
mine. He's standing at the door, like he's like, please let me in. But no,
yeah. That's
he's
how he was right
distracted.
now. So he wanted to come in and be on camera.
He wanted to come say hi.
Yeah.
There's a show. I think it's called Titans, maybe.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think is it Brendan Fraser's in that one or no? Or that's a different one.
No, this one is on HBO Max, and it's what all the well, clearly it's like the sidekick.
Oh, okay, okay. Like Robin is one of them, right?
Robin, yeah. And then like Hawk, Dove and
Raven.
Hawk.
Okay.
I don't even
I've
know
yeah,
who they are.
I haven't checked them out. Honestly, is I look at them like if Batman's not there, I'm not gonna
Well,
watch
you
it.
know, Batman is kind of there. Like
Yeah.
he's in season two,
Yeah.
but
I
he's not
I
like
think I know who you're
the
talking
Batman.
about, but yeah, I think I know the actor, and then
Yeah.
I yeah.
He's like an old guy. There's a
Yeah.
new show that just came on, and I thought I'd try to watch it. I don't know if it's called Gotham. It's on the CW because the CW shows all the DC shows, right? And it
Oh yeah,
is
they're
Bruce Wayne's
milking.
son. Yeah, he's the son of Bruce Wayne, like the
Damon?
adopted son.
Oh, okay.
And so it's brand new. It's a brand new show, and I watched like episode 1 and 2, and it has like the daughter of like Harley Quinn and the Joker.
Mm-hmm.
Like quite interesting. That was interesting, but I'm so busy doing all these other things. Like the mortgage industry is keeping me it's keeping me on my toes, trying to like
Yeah.
help people find their homes and stay in their homes and like and you're familiar with the stay in your home thing. We were kind of talking about like how
Yeah.
you touch into the mortgage industry with what you do, um, and how people think that the mortgage industry is just real estate.
Right. Yeah.
But in reality, it's like
Yeah. Yeah.
everybody.
it is, but
Everybody.
the real
Yeah.
estate industry is the tip of the iceberg, right? So
Hmm.
what I do for an actual living, right? My
Yeah.
Monday to Friday job is I'm actually a director for despite my my 7-year-old me,
Yeah.
I'm the director for a mortgage company, and a couple of businesses that I lead is in the mortgage industry is not completely unrelated to real estate per se. It's after, right? So it's from the point of the loss mitigation,
Hmm.
which is a department that focuses on folks not losing their home, right? It's putting them in a forbearance, and because of COVID, that spiked up.
Yeah.
To when a home goes into a default, which means somebody it goes vacant or foreclosed, and then there's an option of going into short sale, or and then after it's foreclosed, it goes into an REO, and then trying to resell that property with what is called REOs, real estate agents, which is agents, independent folks, right? That want to acquire the property, and then we put them on a site as well called hubzu.com, and that's where an investor or your regular Joe is able to go and be able to bid on a property. So think about it as the um, eBay for homes, right?
eBay of
Now,
home.
yeah, that's what I would call it. Yeah, so if you go there, right, you'll be able to see a home, and just be aware that what you're bidding for is going to be exactly what you get is as is, right? So
Are there
don't let
pictures on there?
there's pictures on there, but
Uh-huh.
similar to the show Catfish, right? You don't want to be catfished by a home. So
I have.
yeah. So if you do see it, don't rely on the pictures, right? Because
Yeah.
you know how there's a lot of girls and or guys that use a lot of filters, right? There's
Well,
such a
filters are a big thing now. Like back in the day, filters were not a real thing.
they were no, they were not, and now they're become a norm, right? And
Or it's weird. It's so weird. Like you
but
look at, it, I'm like, hey, this is not my face. I don't look like this. So, but
yeah,
I'm gonna go look. Like how we were talking about earlier that real estate, owning real estate, not being a real estate officer, or owning real estate is really a way to grow your wealth. And so,
oh yeah, it's a fundamental thing, right?
mhm,
I'm lucky enough to move over into New Mexico, which is an area when I first moved that was barely being developed, right? Everybody
yeah.
thought, "Oh, you're crazy for moving over
Like,
there.
why
That's
y'all
so,
moving over there? I thought there was
yeah."
nothing down
It's like, yeah, man, that's hella far, right?
there. Yeah.
And now, like, we look at how everything is in, and the property value has gone up, and yeah, that's where the actual money is, right?
Yeah.
And I would say that's the only way, right? Of course, but there's definitely a lot of potential when it comes to real estate, right?
Yeah.
It's owning property, I think, is one of the things that uh, makes sense, right? I feel when I bought property here, I feel like when Manhattan was first purchased from the Native Americans, right, which was purchased for $20.
Can I get a house for 20 bucks on Hubzu?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like, because let me tell you one thing that I just recently saw here, and I bet some of those properties probably were on like the site because you said it's not just for El Paso. Like anybody in the United States can get on Hubzu, right?
Absolutely, yeah. So
Anywhere.
what's beautiful is that you go, kind of similar to Zillow, right? I think a lot of
Yeah.
people are more familiar with Zillow.
Hmm.
Is that you're able to go into the site and be able to search by zip code city, and then whatever is available. Now remember, these are not necessarily homes that are on the market. These are homes that have gone through that process, that have gone through
Yeah.
the default process, and have become
Foreclosure.
yours, and now they're real estate owned, right?
Yeah.
As the servicer, the servicer is the one that owns it at that point, right?
Hmm.
And we have my company that helps out with the property registration, the preservation, and the selling of the property, right?
Yeah.
And that my team is able to support that. So another team is customer service that supports this site, right?
Yeah.
And they're not real estate agents.
Yeah.
They're folks that are very incredibly smart, that are able to support the site on any question that anybody might have, right? Although most of the questions that they have are already they're already in the site, right? But
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, it's
Nobody
always
reads.
yeah, yeah, that wishful thinking was which how much is
Yeah.
that property? Is like 200 and
What?
they say almost like 500,000, right?
Yeah.
And okay, can we work something like that? It's like the bid starts at 500,000, right?
Yeah.
Um, and in it's designed to do that, right? It's
Yeah. So
formulated
that's how
and
they make
designed.
money, right? They got to make
Yeah,
money
yeah.
off of it. And
I gotta
even
get
if they're
more.
starting the bid at 500, that house is probably worth double that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, these are
No,
foreclosed homes, and but always buyer beware, right?
buyer
And yeah, of
beware.
course, you going back to what you said, you got to get paid. Yeah, I need to get another suit. I need to get
Yeah,
another
yeah, exactly.
hero
I
suit.
mean,
Yeah,
duh.
yeah,
But my first house that I bought was a foreclosure. And when I walked in, I was like, oh my gosh, it's lovely. And then I just like walked in and I looked at like the potential that the house had. And
yeah,
then by the time I got in and closed on the house, there was no pipes under the sink. Like the pipes under the sink had been removed.
yeah.
Like
Oh, that's a
the
that's a big
doors
issue.
off
Yeah.
the doors off of the I was going to say cabinets. Yeah, I think I was missing a door off the cabinet, but the closet door, like, and I'm like, who takes just like a closet door? Like, that's
Yeah,
so strange. It was the weirdest
yeah.
thing. So I had to have it made and like, yeah, like one of the
That was a
drawers in the
big.
kitchen.
That was a big chunk, right? I mean, that was the big chunk that you had to,
You have to get it though.
yeah, you have to, but that's obviously something that you didn't expect to, right? You kind of
Yeah,
similar, yeah. You thought
yeah.
to yourself, right, that oh yeah,
Like
this is a steal, and there's going to be minor repairs, and then you
it
realize that
was
there's some
serious.
fundamental stuff that you
It
have to.
was serious. And I financially was not prepared for that either. Thank the Lord, my mom was like, I got you. And I was like, thank you. Because I was still working. I had just started working at Sprint. I had been at Sprint for a year. And when I got hired at Sprint, this is interesting. Back in the day, we were not corporate. It was like a franchise of Sprint, I guess. And
Okay.
so they had customer service agents in the store, and then they had salespeople, right? And so I was
Oh,
hired for customer service. I wasn't hired to sell phones. And I was a part-time employee on top of that. And we had a manager. She was not the best at her job. And she was just letting us work however many hours we wanted to. Right? Like we were just like
yeah.
banking. And so I was like, I'm gonna buy a house. And this was in 2007. Okay. 2007, back when when loan officers had no rules, right? They could just
Oh
do.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's
Remember,
that's
there were
that's
like no
exactly
rules.
when it was like Oprah. You get a home, you get a
You get a
home,
home, you get a home, and it was
everybody
a
gets a
customer.
home.
Yeah,
Harrison Ford is here. Yeah.
yes, yes. Tell me how much you make. How much money do you have in the bank?
Doesn't
And
matter. You
so
get home.
it doesn't matter. Right? I think I had $1,000 in the bank. Okay, like legit, I had no money,
And you got a home
and
then?
yeah,
Yo,
working part
they did
time
you
at
dirty.
Sprint.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was working part time at Sprint,
With
and I had
a
a
mortgage.
thousand dollars in the bank. And I got a house. That lady probably lost her license when 2008 came along and they put all those rules in place.
Yeah.
That lady probably lost her job. Yeah, I got a house. It was like $80,000, and I was like, "This is my house."
Yeah.
And shortly after, we got a manager who didn't know how to do her job. It was like, "Hey, you're a part-time employee. You can't work 45 hours a week. You can't work 50 hours a week." She was like, "You can work 30 hours a week at the most."
Yeah.
And I was like, hold on. Like, hold on. Wait a minute. Like, I just bought a house, man. And if you cut my hours, I can't afford to pay my mortgage. And she was like, I'm sorry, but y'all are not allowed to work these hours. And so
Just make you full time then.
it wasn't that easy. But so I went to part time, but I probably shouldn't say this, but maybe I should say this. I can turn some people onto it. Apparently, if you have a job and your hours get cut by more than 15%, you can get unemployment.
Oh yeah.
And so I got unemployment until I became a full-time employee. And I was able to become because Sprint, there was like team, what was that other thing that was with Sprint? Um,
Nextel.
I was like, Netflix?
Nextel.
Nextel.
It was the radio. Yeah.
Yes, when Sprint and Nextel merged,
Yeah.
it violated some contract so that the franchise that we were working for could no longer exist. So that's when we all became official Sprint, not just authorized dealers. And then we all became full time and we all became sales associates, not customer service reps.
Mm-hmm.
And then I didn't have to get unemployment anymore because I was selling phones. And I talked to my friend about this. Like, and then they had y'all came in fixing phones, and
Oh yeah.
like it was like a well-oiled machine. I was like, back in the day when we worked at Sprint, I thought we were ballers. Like we were probably making like between $40,000 and $60,000 a year.
Yeah.
Balling.
Yeah, well, I do remember, and one of the things that attracted me about the Sprint job
Yeah.
is I was a tech there, right? So I had
Mm-hmm.
to do it, but I love the whole technology side of things, right?
Yeah.
And just getting to and fixing it. And the thing that gave me, I mean, the most satisfaction, of course, getting that dough was
Yeah.
is when I was able to fix, right? Because you could replace the phone, but I don't remember
Yeah.
there was a some sort of equation where you had to fix a certain amount, replace, right? Not just replace,
Yeah.
but I would fix the phone, and once I did, I provided to that was very,
Yeah.
I would gain,
Yeah.
that would give me a lot of satisfaction and happiness to do that, right?
Well,
So I
it's
had
true. Like when you can help people,
yeah.
like helping them, and especially like what y'all did, because people come in with like broken phones, and like I can't afford to buy a new phone because phone phones are expensive now.
Yeah.
But I feel like we thought phones were expensive then.
Back then. Oh
We thought
yeah,
phones were expensive then.
but I don't know if you remember this, but there was a time, the iPhone killer. There was a time where Samsung went against the phone, and they had the Samsung Epic. They had the Epic Touch, right? The S3, and then you were all into the LGs for some reason. I don't know why.
I
You were
was
always
about
trying
LG.
to
No,
you
you
you were
text me
you got
about
you were like,
LG
life's
the other
good.
day. You text me about LG the other day, and I felt some kind of way about it because I was like, yo, I rep that LG, and I have my whole family on LG. Okay, they don't exist anymore for cell phones. I
You
think
were
they don't
so
even make phones.
loyal to LG, and look at
I
them
sure
now.
was. I
Yeah.
was. They used to have the best camera at one point.
I think, yeah, for a third, yeah, man, the best 3G
The best
reception, the best
3G camera
two
in my
megapixels you can
3G
get in the
phone.
phone.
Yes, and you could put music on it. That was what really got me into it because they had a
Yeah.
cute little phone, and I could put like neon green. This makes me sound so old. Like talking about S3. They're on like an S22 at this point.
Oh yeah, yeah,
But
yeah. There was the Samsung Epic was the flip. No, it wasn't a flip, but it was a kind of a slider, right?
yes,
And then we had the Epic Touch, which that phone was hell, because that was easy to replace the touchscreen, but and you would do it, and then 2 weeks later they'll come back. I'm having the same issue
yeah.
until a couple of fixes and we had to replace it.
I don't
But
know anything about Samsung, any phone. I had the Fusic, I had the music, I had whatever was after that because I was about the LG. And Casey, my
did
sister,
you
was
ever have
like,
the LG chocolate? I don't know if you remember that.
no, I don't know what that is. I think you just
The
made it
LG
up.
chocolate, it was it's when the oh it was in competition with a long time ago with the Sidekick, and Snoop Dogg was the spokesperson for it, and then
Is
he
that
would
why they
say,
called it chocolate?
no, but that was a different one. This one I can't remember which. I don't know if it was LG, but a Sidekick, and it would kind of flip, and it was like revolutionary, right? And then
They
he would
were.
have this kind of like everybody needs a sidekick, right? I mean, you can ask me anything about Snoop Dogg. I'll let you know.
Anything? Do you like 19 Crimes?
Yeah,
You do? Have you
yeah.
drank it?
No,
You drank
no, but
19 Crimes? Oh,
no. I don't
somebody
know what
told
that
me
is. Sorry,
it's
I know.
wine. It's wine.
No,
You're
no,
like, yeah. I was
no,
like, do you like it? Do you drink wine?
no. I,
Is the real question.
my wife does. I don't.
Your
I
wife
don't.
drinks wine?
I'm more of a whiskey beer.
So can you drink an old fashioned?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
Oh
you're a
yeah.
real adult. I feel like you reach adulthood when you can drink an old fashioned.
Yeah,
And
I
I've
think
tried. I cannot. I do not like it, but I like red wine.
it's
But
it depends on who does it, right? Usually when you get an old fashioned, most people don't make the old fashioned. Most people would order though, it depends where, because it's a combination of different
yeah,
liquor. And obviously, like I like personally like it with the round
the
ice,
round
but
ice.
yeah,
No,
I mean,
I don't think that makes it taste any better.
no,
It doesn't change the flavor. I've tried so many times. Like I've tried so many times. And then I was like, maybe I'll make it. And I bought all these bitters here at the house. And I just didn't because I was like, I don't like it. But we keep whiskey on tap here because we like
yeah,
Maker's Mark. And
that's a
so,
good one.
yeah, we keep Maker's Mark here for our hot chocolate.
Okay.
It goes in our hot chocolate. That's what we keep it for.
Yeah.
And so,
Well,
mm-mm.
yeah,
But Snoop has
before
19 crimes, red wine,
ah, I have it. Yeah. So apparently, yeah, you can ask me anything about Snoop Dogg, but
except,
never said that we'll have the answer.
yeah, oh yeah, except for 19 crimes. I haven't drank it. I hear it's not good. That's all.
Yeah. No,
But
I like to stick to usually what I know. Um. Yeah. There's something nostalgic about how we talked about right now about our time in Sprint, right?
yeah,
The the good old times, right?
the good old days.
The good old days, and we didn't even
Hmm.
know, right? They were, I mean, and we're probably later on, right? 8 years or 8 years from now, we're gonna look back and maybe these were the best times. And
These were the good old days. I don't know. Like, I guess you always, when we think back on things, we always think about the good part of it. You don't always think about like bad part that really sucked about it. And so and memories can trick you also. Like, oh, maybe that wasn't so bad. Maybe it was good.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
working at Sprint was so exciting and fun.
yeah, when customers came in through their phones at us.
Yeah, exactly. People coming in cussing you out and just being rude. But like it was just a much simpler time though. And now it's like 2020 happened, everybody got shut down, the world ended, and then we came out on the other side of 2020, everybody brand new. Everybody came
Yeah.
out as brand new individuals. We don't know how to communicate with each other anymore. Um, everything hurts our feelings. And I don't know, maybe we need to go back locked in. I don't know. Absolutely not. I do not want to be locked in again. How'd y'all make it through 2020?
The way that we did, right? It was very fun because I had started a new job in January of 2020, and we
Okay.
were in the process of moving. I used to work downtown in the
Okay.
Wells Fargo building, so I actually loved it. And we got a new space, right, a bigger space on the west side of El Paso, and it was January, and then we were moving at the beginning of April. The beginning of April, we were scheduled to go, and I remember March, and then we started hearing about the cases, and we heard, well, we got the first case in the United States, and I'm like,
Yeah.
okay. And I was like, yo, let's find this fool, right? Let's find this and take it back, because they were traveling, they went to China or something like that, and then
All the things, yeah.
yeah, and then I think like the second week of March, we got the first case in El Paso, and that's when everybody got shut down. I think it was like
Yeah.
March 13th or something like that, and then we were sent home, right? And we started working. We started with the new team, and it was complete and utter chaos, right?
Yeah.
Because we didn't know what the hell we were doing. We were, one thing. The positive thing is that my wife and I actually got closer, right? We loved it.
Yeah.
We were very happy that we had absolutely no issues. The
Yeah.
the work part of it was hard because I would have people disappear on me. I would have issues with people, a lot of people with tech issues, right? Camera not working, no internet.
Yes.
And yeah, I would remember that there was one time where, and I get it, right? Like, people, some changing diapers, which I understand, but there's some
Yeah.
people getting eye exams or, doing something, or getting
Anything
oil
except
change.
working.
Yeah, but there would be we used to use the system called WebEx, and they
Uh-huh.
would go in and I was like, oh, what, like they were always on mute, present, um, and it was very hard because it was a new business that we were starting here in El Paso, and it was incredibly challenging to do so, but we had to push through, right? But it was
Yeah.
incredibly frustrating to kind of deal with all of that because if you remember, was what did they say? 2 weeks, right? 2 weeks, we
They
flattened
said
the
two
curve.
weeks.
Yeah, and then 2 weeks, and then what was it? 2 years later, we
2 years
barely.
later.
Yeah, so
We're going back to work now.
yeah, I see it as a hazy memory, but that serves, and we learned a lot, right? We
Yeah.
learned, I think we learned a lot, and I want to think that it made us better.
Yeah.
It made us better of some of us, right? And some other people didn't or didn't learn anything from it, but I like to think I did.
I don't know. It drove me nuts. I was like, I think I need help. Like working from home and not being able to leave the house, not be able to go anywhere. Like, and then when we would go out of the house, I said, feels like we're like,
what was
because
the what
nobody
was
would
the
be
hardest
outside
what was the hardest part about it?
working at home. Like
Yeah.
home and like work and home being the same place
Mhm.
was so difficult. Because how do
Yeah.
you turn it off? How do you stop? That was,
Um, yeah, I know what you mean. It's very tough because you're there, right? They know you're there,
yeah,
right? Yeah,
can't
they
go
know you're
anywhere.
there, and there's some things that you have um, there's certain advantages when you're working in the office, where I mean, to me, human interaction is incredibly important,
It's
and
so important. Yeah.
that's what I missed the most. And obviously, production was down. I think everybody faced that challenge. I think one of the personally the toughest things that is like I remember I wanted to get a haircut, and everywhere was closed, so that was really frustrating. And I remember the gyms were closed, and those two things I remember were very very um, frustrating to me, right? Because I remember my hair will grow like a chia pet, right?
I was like, you have an afro?
Yeah, and then because my hair, and then it takes a really long time for it to go because it grows like that, and then it takes a
yeah.
while to actually kind of go down, but it goes outward, and the gym too. That was personally one of the toughest things. But here we cooked all the time, right? Um, I think my wife wasn't working at the time,
Mhm.
and if she did, it was partially partial time.
Yeah.
But that was fun, and we didn't have any issues. We caught up on a lot of shows.
Yeah.
Remember, it
Right.
was Tiger King when it came out too. It's like that, everybody was talking about
I did
that.
not watch it.
You
I did.
refused to watch it.
I did not watch it. I was like, I'm not jumping on board. Not doing it.
Yeah.
No, did
No,
y'all pick up any new hobbies? Everybody picked up hobbies during, I feel like during COVID.
I did for about 2 weeks, which was learning the guitar, right? And
How'd
the
that go?
toughest part with me is that I was like, I got really frustrated, and I was doing that online too,
Yeah.
right? And then this is the impression of me trying to learn it, right? So it's like okay, and then I'll have to pause it and then go back 2 seconds and then try it again and pause it, and then people would just kind of like move on, and then like so if it was an instructional video about an hour, it would take me 3 hours to kind of get that,
I
and there's
believe
like
it.
I'm not picking, but I mean with practice, but I gave up on that hobby.
2 weeks.
Yeah, for
That's
two
all you
weeks I
gave it.
tried my best, and then I was like no.
Guitar is not hard. I bought a guitar like 10 years ago at this point.
You still have it?
And yeah, I still have it.
Yeah.
I should go look at it and make sure that it hasn't dried out.
Yeah, I think you have to give
Like
it a couple of maintenance. I think the
humidity.
guitar that I have, I think one of the strings broke, and I just, also like, dude, you're not
I
getting
gave it
this.
2 weeks also. I bought it before COVID. I bought it right before I started working at Mesa also actually. And I started teaching myself how to play the guitar and I was playing it upside down. And my stepdad, he used to sit there and I was like, Abe, I'm gonna practice. Listen to me play.
Yeah.
And he would sit there and be clapping like, yes. And I was like, this is Jingle Bells. And it was like, it was like Jingle Bells. And he said, well, I never heard it sound like this before. I was like, well, I guess it's a different rendition. This is how it's written. And then I realized that I had the guitar upside down. And when I turned it the right way, he was like, it's more like it.
You got better really quick.
Yeah, really quickly. And I was like, I can't do this. This is just like, it hurts your fingertips, all the things.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, no,
People make it look easy.
you have to build tolerance to it, and
Yeah.
then it becomes second nature after a while. I'm talking like I know, right? But
You're like, by the
everybody
way,
tells me,
2 weeks, let me know.
yeah, yeah, if I do it more,
That's so
yeah,
funny.
maybe a
So
big.
what else? What else do you have going on?
What else? What else? Um, I uh, I want to say, man, that's a good question. Oh, something that I'm actually gonna do, and then I'll do it more than 2 weeks. I just bought that Rosetta Stone. So I bought
Okay.
a lifetime membership of Rosetta Stone. And do you and I'm one of the first languages there's actually two languages that I want to start.
Okay.
One of them is Hindi, and that's in India, right? We have
Yeah.
a company, my company, we have a lot of employees that are based off in India, so
Mm,
I want to connect with them more. Like I
yeah.
want to know about their culture, and they do an amazing job, and sometimes I want to say that they're underappreciated, and I want to learn more about. And then the second one is Mandarin. That's something that we also want to learn because China is like this close. I don't know if you kept up with all the things that they're doing, but they are like this close to becoming a world power even more than the US. And I want to be prepared when they do, you know.
So you need to understand what they're saying. I actually
Yeah,
have
yeah.
a friend that speaks Mandarin. He was
It's
one of my reps.
yeah. And is she what is the she?
The guy.
It's a guy. Okay.
Yeah.
He is he from China, or he learned it? He's a native
No,
speaker.
he's half Chinese.
Oh,
So
okay.
he's half Chinese and half white. And so he is fluent in Mandarin. And
Yeah.
so I actually had two reps on my team that spoke Mandarin
Yeah.
fluently. And so
Yeah.
yeah,
I've
need to practice.
yeah, I do. And then of course,
That makes sense. Um,
absolutely.
languages aren't easy. And I think you're starting with a hard language. I thought you were going to say that you were learning French
Nope.
because French is easy for Spanish speakers to learn.
I hear that, but it's never interested me, right? Not even to travel. And I think my wife, one of the places that we talked
You
about
want
is
to go
like,
to
I don't think
France?
even in our top 10 to go. So I don't think, and I don't know many French. The closest thing to French, it'll be like French toast and French fries, but that's the.
I bet. No, yeah, French. When I was in college, I had to take French. Took 4 years of French.
Did
Four.
you still you remember anything?
I can probably count to four.
Right. I
That's
took
it.
3 years of German in high school.
Can you count to three?
I can.
Yeah, see, that's good. But
Yeah.
the because at UTEP there is a large population from Wattis that come to go to UTEP,
Right,
and
right.
they picked up on French like this, and the teacher was like, "It's because they're both Latin based. Is it Latin based? I
Yeah.
think they're both Latin
Language,
based.
I think Spanish, Italian, and French, right?
Yeah, and
The
the
romantic
conjugations are the
language.
same. They're the romantic languages. Yeah,
Mhm.
and the conjugations are also the same from French to Spanish.
Yeah.
So that's why it's easy. Right, Greek.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you're, well, I don't know where you went to high school, but a lot of people where I went to, I came to high school here in El Paso, oh, actually Bel Air, right?
In Bel
But
Air, yeah, but Bel Air, El Paso.
but yeah, yeah, yeah. I can tell you which Bel Air, right? a lot of folks as for language, even though they spoke Spanish, right?
Yeah,
They took Spanish, and I remember this. Oh, it's easy A, right? That's what they
yeah,
thought it, and they were having a hard time. I think they were having even a harder time than I did, even though I wasn't, in German class. And
yeah.
but when I was taking the German class, I didn't really take it serious,
Just
right?
need to take a class. It's like you need a language. Okay, got it.
Yeah,
I'll take a
and I
language.
wanted to, but then I sometimes I would just the language, it was so funny to me, and not the language itself, but like the way that I did it would be funny, right?
Like
Just
me
because
speaking Spanish, like I can't do it. I cannot speak.
you
I
didn't pick up
try.
anything from us.
I know. I picked up. I worked at Sonic for a lot of years right after high school, so I could do fast food Spanish. I could take orders in Spanish.
Yeah.
Y'all talk too fast over there. Y'all would just be talking to. I remember I was like, I don't even know what's happening. Nobody is speaking English, but they're laughing a lot, so I'm sure it's funny.
Those tater
I'm
tots are
sure it's
hilarious.
funny.
Yeah. Yeah,
But no,
that
I
ocean
can't.
water. Yeah.
That ocean water, I could, yeah, agua de ocean.
Yeah.
But so you said France is on y'all's bucket list. You should at least pick up a couple of words. Where do y'all want to travel to?
One place that I would like to travel to China, um,
China.
but I think more. Um, I think a place that is more reasonable. I think, and I don't say reasonable, but that's more that we really both of us, my wife and I, really goes
Yeah.
either the Mediterranean or like Greece, or Europe, right?
Hmm.
Um, I see that there's really cool cruises that go there, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, amazing, amazing cruises, and they do certain stops, right? So you'll be able to experience, even if it's a short dose, right? If it's a short
Yeah.
time, those specific places. But you get to tell that. And the thing for me when I like to travel, I do love the vacations, which are you go to the beach, right?
Yeah.
But I like to go on vacation and submerge myself in the
In the
culture, right?
culture. Hmm.
Yes, and I don't like to go to very touristy areas. I know they're nice, right?
Yeah.
Resorts and stuff like that. They're amazing. Don't get me wrong, but I do prefer something where it's not as touristy, and then like to local eateries, right? Um, and really experiencing for what it is as a local, right? To
Yeah.
learn
Yeah.
something from it. I also like to do that.
Yeah. That's how we did Greece. So originally, because we went for my 40th last year, and it was
Oh, that's
fantastic.
right. You went
Yeah.
to, did you go to Santorini or you go?
We went to Santorini, we went to Athens, and then we went to where was the other place?
Does Athens look like El Paso?
It looks like El Paso.
Yeah,
I thought
I've
we
heard that.
landed in El Paso.
Imagine they make a U-turn. You're like, yeah, this is
Yes,
this is
I took pictures. I was like, hold
big
on. As
time.
we were landing, I was like, hold on. They messed up somewhere. It looks just like it. We went to Mykonos. So
Really? Did they have a Chico's tacos there?
it was kind of similar, but they sold euros. They didn't sell tacos. But no, like no lie, Eric. The mountains look the same. Like the mountains look exactly the same as the El Paso mountains.
Yeah.
I was like, this is strange. And it also, because the houses are so close together, and look like what is like, and I was like, where are we? But the we did it, and we did it with a travel agent. And so like you don't have
Is
to
that
pay for
worth
it
it?
all up front.
Yeah.
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 And then they said, well, what do you want to do? I said, my sister likes to look at architecture. We want to drink wine and we want to eat good food and I want to have fun on my birthday. And she said, okay. And she just put together like a package for us
Yeah.
based off of that. And like we were able to like see Greece, like the different places, but not like the touristy spots, if that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah.
And learn about it and like we had time to like explore on our own and all that stuff. And Greece is actually not that expensive.
Really?
Mykonos is expensive because it's like that's like the popular place, which we're too old. We were too old for Mykonos. I feel like those people didn't start going out at night until midnight. That's when they left their house to go
Really?
party. And I was
What
like,
time does everything close then?
I think like 6 a.m. I don't know because we didn't stay out. I was like, I'm too old for this. Like these people don't have clothes on. How they have these heels on? What is happening here? But
Yeah.
Mykonos
Well,
was expensive. That place was. The other places were not. The
yeah,
expensive
yeah.
part
I
is
think
getting
there's
there.
those sort of there's like a cruise that kind of goes like that,
There
and
is.
that's
Mm-hmm.
something that we would like to
You should
try.
do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or if you don't want to, because that's originally what we were gonna do is take a cruise. And then you get to see like all the different like islands.
Mhm.
Um,
Why
but then
didn't
I
you do
was
it?
well, we wanted to be able to not be rushed. Because like, if you do the cruise, like you might just be there for 8 hours.
You think you made
And
the right decision?
I do.
Yeah.
We made a fan. Yeah, I do. I would go back. I wouldn't go to Mykonos again because, like I said, I'm too old for Mykonos. It was just not my scene. And that was the expensive place. Like, let me tell you, in Athens, there was 8 of us that went. Our first night in Athens, we went out to eat. We had all the appetizers. We had 2 bottles of alcohol. We had dessert, and it was $110. And I was
For
like,
all eight of you?
for all of us. And so I was like, hold on, like, how do we move here? Like,
Yeah. Yeah, that's
because
no. Yeah.
easy over here, 2 people, at least $100, right?
Hmm.
Easy.
Hmm.
And so if I went back, it's just the expensive part is getting there, like your flight there.
Yeah.
But they have, and all the islands are beautiful. Like they're all beautiful.
Hmm.
And so if you go to, you can go to even the smaller places and get even more of that culture versus like the touristy spots.
Right.
And so,
Right.
so I preferred Athens and I preferred Santorini,
Oh, okay.
and
Yeah.
they had
I think
really
that's
good
the
wine
next place. Yeah, I think that's a
to
place
do
I
it.
would like to go. Yeah.
Yeah, and the travel agency that I used was like fantastic. They were like kind, and you can do it like on payment plans. Like you don't have to just like, here's all my money. Like you can do it on a payment plan. And the only thing that they didn't cover was the flight. And so like they set up where we stayed. She was
Yeah.
like, okay, she gave us like options. Do you want to stay here or here? Like, and so then, like, our travel between the islands, they came and picked us up and made sure we got to the right place. When we got
Hmm.
off
Hmm.
of like the
Hmm.
ferries, they were there waiting with the sign with our names on it to like,
Hmm.
take us to the hotel. They came and picked us up to take us to like our excursion. Like, they took care of us the whole way, the whole way.
It was off the chain of all the chains.
All the chains. It was off all the chains. And so when I go, we want to go to Italy. That's one place we want to travel to. We want to go to
Hmm.
France. Um, but as close to Italy as we might get might be right now, maybe going to California to the vineyards in California. As close as we can get to Italy right now.
Yeah.
But travel is fun. And I like how you said like immersing yourself because do you feel like you even go anywhere if you go and just do the tourist? Like you go and sit on the beach. Did you see anything? Did you learn anything
Exactly.
about it? Oh, it's not
I
good.
think with yeah, I totally agree, right? Especially when you go to a resort, right? You see the same people kind of like
Mm-hmm.
you, right? Or
Yeah.
hey, where are you guys from? Oh, Texas. Oh man, I try to get away from you people, right?
Yeah, yeah. It was
Yeah.
so weird being around people. I was like, where are the Americans? Like,
Yeah.
and going to other countries teaches you that we haven't messed up here. We have it wrong here. Like
What do you mean?
they we work so hard over here.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Like we work so hard and then we retire and we can relax. Like we what is it? We work to live
yeah.
or we live to work,
Yeah,
whatever.
that's a culture right here where
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
live
It's like go,
to
go, go. We gotta be at work. We gotta be at work. We gotta be at
yeah.
work. Like when we were in Greece, there were signs on the door, off for the next 2 weeks. And they were like, it's too hot to work. Nobody wants to work under these conditions.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
people were like shut down and they were on vacation.
Yeah, I was reading an article not too long ago about Rockefeller, right? On
Uh-huh.
how he envisioned, right? And they would saying, how would Rockefeller see the world? And he would be pleased on how we still follow that, right? And
Yeah,
then because I think I know what you mean when you see people over there, and specifically in Europe, right? They work to live and they live well, right?
they
They're
live
not really
well.
they're not really preoccupied with a lot of stuff that we're here, right? Like,
Hmm.
um, despite being U.S. being a world power, we live paycheck by paycheck,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
And your average American will do that, and they average out like about uh, 1 week, 2 week vacation on a monthly basis if they're lucky,
yeah,
right?
yeah. If you're lucky.
And if you're lucky, and over there you see them just living to the max, right?
Yeah, yeah. And so I was like, how do we make that here? And so I've gotten to the point, like I used to be like that, where I'm like, I gotta work, gotta work, gotta work, gotta work.
Mhm.
Like, especially from COVID, it's like, well, I'm working 60 hours this week because home is work. I don't know how to turn it off. And so just in the past couple of years, I've gotten into, I would say the past 2 years, year and a half, 2 years, I've gotten
Yeah,
into a rhythm where I'm like, the day is over. I'm not working anymore.
yeah.
Like these emails will still be here in the morning. Or if it's Friday, these emails still gonna be here come Monday morning, you know? And like it gives me more time to do the things that I want to do. Like to be able to do something like this and sit down and have a conversation. Um, I have a garden now. It lets me go work out in my garden. And,
Yeah.
me and my sister have a clothing boutique. So just like
Yeah,
other things,
yeah.
and not just be focused all the time on I have to be working.
Mhm.
Like it's not okay. We killing ourselves out here. So if it's gonna be work, let it be fun work. Like your superhero business, like just things that bring you joy. Because otherwise,
Then what's the
over
point?
here
Yeah,
like machines.
yeah. Right, exactly. And that's kind of the reason too, and I think I mentioned this a little bit before, that I do this because I enjoy it, right?
Hmm.
Doing something different or adding or outgoing outside of that, right? And
Yeah,
expanding is always good, but then I would be corrupting the whole thing behind it, and doing
yeah.
and every moving what then it just becomes just work, right?
It becomes
And
work.
yeah,
Mhm.
because if think about this, I have my regular job, and then they do this on a weekly on a weekend, then that's consuming my free time from work. And if I hate what I'm doing, right, then
Yeah.
no, I would just be miserable.
Man, I gotta go do another party.
Instead of like,
Gotta
yeah,
go
let's
do
do this,
another
let's make
party.
this, yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And now one thing I said I was gonna ask you about. So y'all have two Pomeranians.
Yes. Mhm.
I have a Pomeranian also. He looks like your bigger one.
Yeah.
My
Cal. Yeah, he's
my
really
my Harley.
Mhm.
He's an old man now. But so how is it? Is this the bigger one? Yeah, y'all cut him like a lion. You gave him the lion cut, huh?
We did, yeah. Or anything
Harley
like that.
doesn't
And
like
we just got another one because he was by himself, right? So we
it.
thought
Hmm.
either we get him fixed or we get him a little partner,
Little
right? So
friend.
yeah, a
Hmm.
little. But most importantly, what I wanted, I didn't want him, to be alone, right? If I was working or my wife was working, he was here by himself, and we would look at him in the camera, and he was just there, right? And I think I wanted him to have a little partner,
A,
and
a
then
little partner.
have have babies, right? Also,
But yeah, I saw.
yeah,
I was like, oh, they had two Pomeranians. Harley doesn't like friends.
yeah,
He's
they're
spoiled,
not
but
in
Harley's
that
also old.
traditional.
Yeah.
What
No,
about
Harley
your
is an
dog?
old man.
Did he ever have puppies?
They had puppies. Him and my other dog Lulu. Lulu
Yeah.
was not a Pomeranian. She
Oh,
was a
so.
mutt. They were the weirdest looking things. Like it came out with like a mane and then like short hair on the back. It was just like the strangest one. He's standing at the door. But Harley's old now. He'll be 15 this year.
Oh, wow.
So he
Oh,
he's
yeah.
still spry. He's still spry, getting around, hanging out, all that stuff.
Did you ever get a
So
fit? Oh, no.
I got him fixed just
Yeah.
recently
Yeah.
because otherwise, they can get sick. They can get cancer and stuff.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So he's 3 now.
I didn't get
He's
Harley fixed until like maybe during COVID. I
really.
probably got him fixed during COVID. So
He's 3.
yeah. So
Yeah, he's three
Carly
and
was like
getting
13.
getting
And
older, and we decided no, okay,
yeah,
we
it's
need to say.
important to do it once they start getting older because
Mhm. Yeah.
they can die. And you don't want that. Are y'all godparents?
Am I what? Are we what?
Are y'all godparents?
We
Aren't
are.
y'all godparents? Yes. How many godchildren do you have?
We have technically one, but we're in the pipeline to do two more. My 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 niece and my nephews, right?
Uh,
And we are godparents, and we're the best.
you're
We
the best
are.
godparents.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Somebody should
Actually,
ask me to be a godmom. Like, I don't have any godchildren, but I think I would be fantastic at it. Like, I think I would be a great godparent. And then just pass them back to
that's the
their
best.
parent.
That
Like,
is once they need a diaper change or start crying, and because I'm the best
yo, you
friend,
better
that's
come
why
get
I'm
this
like,
baby.
yo, and then I just
You throw
call
catch.
me, and then just throw it back, right?
Yeah, but I don't know. Kids are
Yeah,
fun, especially when you can get them back. Like
yeah,
we're
yeah.
surrounded by kids out here. Our friends have like young kids.
Hmm.
And so last week our friend was over here, her daughter's 5.
Yeah.
And we had a lot of desserts and like candy. And one of the other friends kept giving the little girl candy. I was like, you don't have to keep her. You better giving this child candy.
Yeah.
She is gonna be like bouncing off every wall. But then again, she didn't have to stay with us.
Love the all the
But
walls. Yeah.
I was like trying to protect her,
Yeah, no,
protect
but
my
yeah,
friend.
they're
So yeah,
amazing. But once you give them back, right?
yeah, it's nice. It's nice.
Yeah,
You can go to
leave them
bed and
by
not have to wake
themselves,
up in
take
the
them
middle.
anywhere. Yeah, and you're there. But that's the best, right? When you start talking about the real responsibility, right? The education part of like, yo, peace.
Yeah, yeah. I have a friend. He's a couple years older than me, and his daughter is in college. And I said, "Is a child more expensive as a little or as an adult? Which one's more expensive?" And he was like, "When they're young." He was like, "Wait, hold on. My daughter, I had to buy her a car. I had to pay her rent." He's like, "No, they're definitely more expensive as adults." I was like, "That's so funny." He works with me here, but his family is actually from El Paso,
Yeah,
and
no, you
so
would think. I was talking to somebody at work, one of my peers, and they were talking, it's like, oh man, it's like, can you believe I have to deal with my parents didn't pay for college? Like she was talking upset and mad that
yeah,
her parents didn't pay for it. And I think they did for they paid for books or the first
he
semester,
did
something like
something.
that.
Yeah,
And then I was and I thought to myself, they didn't pay for college? Like that's I don't think. I mean, how I came about, I was like, yeah, that's your responsibility. That you going to college, they ain't going to college, right?
yeah. Now as an adult though, looking at what it means to be a parent. And I was, when you're young, you're like, Mom, I want this, I want that. And I look at me now as an adult and what I pay for just for myself. I can't imagine having to do that, pay the things for myself, and then have to pay, like, you gotta put
That's true.
clothes on them, you gotta feed them, like all the things. And I'm like, we were pretty selfish, I guess, like expecting like that's a selfish statement. Like, oh, can you
Yeah,
believe my parents didn't pay? They were trying to pay their mortgage.
yeah,
This is what
yeah.
they were paying their mortgage. How about that? So I don't know. And nowadays it's even more expensive. So
Yeah,
everybody got to
no,
work.
yeah,
Everybody got to work. So yeah.
inflation is cray cray.
Tell the people where they can find you, where they can find if they need the El Paso people that listen, if they need a birthday party idea, where can
Very
they
good.
find
Yeah, absolutely. If you want to find me, you do your due diligence and you search for me. No, very easy. If you want the best superhero appearances in El Paso, you can find us on Facebook. You can just search superhero appearances. 2 words. You'll be able to see us there, and you'll be able to book us there. Like the best way is going to be through Messenger, and
you?
and if you're looking for a foreclosed home, and go to hubzu.com and you'll be able to bid one. But remember, buyer beware. Homes are sold as is, and just go and check it out, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for being on here tonight. It was
Thank you
fun
for
catching up. I
thank you
enjoyed
for
it.
inviting me.
Yes.
T-t-t-t.
Nobody has said that in a long time.
All right, yeah. Well, thank you so much for
Yes.
having me, and then I'll expect my cut or my portion of the.
Yeah.
But
I'll put a check in the mail.
I'll send you
It
an
might be
invoice. Yeah,
rubberized though. That check
I'll
might be
send you an
rubberized.
invoice, and there's interest. Just letting you know.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay.
But I'll put the superhero appearances and the Hug Zoo in in the caption so people can find it. And if they want to book you, because I do have friends with young kids, I have friends with young boys that would
Mhm.
actually love a superhero birthday party.
Yeah.
Um, so I'll put that so people can find you. But thanks for being on here tonight.
Thank
It was fun. It was a good time.
Thank you for having me. This is going to be
Yes.
my first podcast and probably my last. Yeah, yeah,
Well, maybe not. I hope not. I
yeah.
hope
No,
not.
I'm no, I'm kidding. This is really
I'll
fun.
never do this.
Yeah, and then just want to say, to my haters, your hate makes me stronger. Just want you to know that. All my haters, you
All
know
right.
who you are,
You
Karens.
know, both of your haters, you know who you are.
Yeah.
All right. Well, y'all, thanks for hanging out with us tonight on We Just Talking. Have a good night.
Thank you. Bye.